research, prospects, reflections, and best practices. IQAC of ST.XAVIER'S College for Women is happy to collaborate with UGC-MHRD-STRIDE scheme of Mahatma Gandhi University for this FDP program. So thank you all for joining us for this session. I'm Dr. Anu Anto, faculty in the Department of Zoology and the IQAC member of ST.XAVIER'S College for Women, Aluva. I shall be the moderator for today's session. So we have 2 sessions scheduled for today. Moving on to the first session, the title of the session is Anti-Plagiarism Detection Tools. As we all know that plagiarism is a form of stealing and is a punishable offense. Nowadays, technological advances have made it easier to find duplicate content in an article. So to guide us through this session, we have with us Sri Sanjo Jose, librarian at St. Thomas College, Thrissur, Kerala. He's an experienced information professional in higher education and IT industry. Sri Sanjo Jose is skilled in analyzing research metrics, information, and document management. He was an information specialist at King Saud University, Riyadh, and was a team lead for digitization at a software company before joining as librarian at St. Thomas College. His interests include digitization and preservation of ancient manuscripts in palm leaves, handmade paper, metals, and stones. So we welcome you, sir, to this session. I also welcome all the participants to this session. So we shall have a 90-minute session and the entire session shall be recorded. So if you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the chat box. Also, please keep your microphones muted during the session. So now without further ado, we'll turn the time over to Sri Sanjo Jose. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss. Good morning, everyone. I'll be dealing a little more with, hope I am audible, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I'll be switching off my video to save the bandwidth. Okay. I'll be dealing a little more than anti-plagiarism tools. Actually, starting with plagiarism tools is actually a little bit technical thing. So I'll be starting with a concept and then we'll be moving to the concept of plagiarism and its the tools for detecting plagiarism. So the session is divided into various slices. Hope you will be happy with that. So I'm sharing my slides. Hope you can see the slide scientific misconduct.
Yes.
Yes.
And can you see this next slide? Title,
Yes.
Time. Right. Okay, so it's moving. So as I said, the title is Scientific Misconduct. And can any of you please unmute and tell me what is this, or what is the issue indicated in the cover page of Time magazine, which is shown on the screen now?
It's cloning.
Yes. And the sheep in the photo is?
Dolly.
Dolly, yeah, correct. Thank you. So hope you understood the okay. Now, this is the picture of Dolly, and that is the first mammal to be cloned. And it was done by Keith Campbell, Ian Wilmot, and colleagues of Roslin Institute, which is a part of University of Edinburgh, Scotland. And it was funded by biotechnology company PPL Therapeutics, Edinburgh, and the Ministry of Agriculture, UK. So followed by the this was the first, as I said, this is the first mammal cloning. Followed by that, Dr. Hwang Woo-Suk of Seoul National University of South Korea. There is some disturbance going on. Can you please mute?
Sorry, sir.
Hope I am audible. In between, I was muted.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Followed by the success of this mammal cloning by the University in UK, a professor at Seoul National University, South Korea, Dr. Hwang Woo-Suk, announced that he has created embryonic stem cell with somatic cell nuclear transfer method. Okay, that's slightly technical. I don't understand that what it is. Okay, but the thing is that he has achieved success in human cloning, and he has published a paper in the famous magazine, famous journal, Science, in the March 2004 issue. And again, he said that in 2005, he created 11 human embryonic stem cells in the 2005 issue. And you can see him in the photo with the Snappy. Snappy is an Afghan hound, which is a dog species. And Snappy stands for SNU, for Seoul National University, and that's portmanteau, Snappy, SNU plus puppy. Okay, that's called Snappy. And there was an allegation published against Dr. Hwang Woo-Suk that he had used eggs taken from 2 of his undergraduate students and from the black market. And this was published in the 2004 issue of Nature. That means he has conducted some kind of unethical way of procuring eggs for human cloning. And later, it was discovered that he had completely fabricated the experiment, and he has completely fooled the entire scientific world by publishing 2 fabricated papers in one of the most respected journals in the scientific experiment. And this is the timeline of the events which happen. I'm not going to explain them because in shortage of time. Anyway, Seoul National University dismisses Dr. Hwang. He was followed by the success or followed by his claim regarding human cloning. He was declared as the national professor of South Korea. He was stripped of that position, and later one of the Seoul court, convicted Dr. Hwang of embezzlement and bioethics charges, giving him a 2-year suspended prison sentence. So I was just giving an example how a person or how a scientist can fool the entire world, or at least for a small duration of time. So can you identify this person who is in this image? Anyone, please? Any computer science teachers here, or who is doing PhD in computer science? Okay, this is the device invented by him. First clue. Any idea?
Is it Charles Babbage?
Yes. And Charles Babbage was the first one who publicly wrote about the misconducts happening in science. I know this slide is not readable at all. I just pasted a part of the content or a part of his essay, which was published by him. And he wrote an article regarding reflections on the decline of science in England and on some of its causes. And he was the first person to indicate that there is some kind of decline, or there is some kind of misconduct happening among scientists. And in this article, which was published in 1830, he wrote about hoaxing, forging, trimming, and ma'am, it's a hope I am audible. Again, I was muted.
Yes, it's audible, sir.
It was this was his terms: hoaxing, forging, trimming, and cooking. The definitions given by him for forging was inventing some or all of the research data what are reported, and even reporting experiments to obtain these data that were never performed. That means nowadays we call it as fabrication. Another thing is trimming, the smoothing of irregularities to make the data look extremely accurate and precise. That is called falsification. And another term he used was cooking, retaining only those results that fit the theory and discarding others. That means there may be experiments which give you extreme or extreme data or extreme outliers in statistical terms. There may be outliers. We may discard those and only keep which are suitable to our experiments or our theories. And this is known as cooking. Nowadays, we term this forging as fabrication, trimming and cooking as falsification. And in total, a scientific misconduct is a totality of fabrication, falsification, and plagiarism. And there are many other things also involved in scientific misconduct, but mainly what most authors are used to do are fabrication, falsification, and plagiarism. A statement developed by the US Office of Science and Technology Policy, which has been adopted by most research funding agencies, defines scientific misconduct as fabrication, falsification, or plagiarism in proposing, performing, or reviewing research, or in reporting research results. According to the statements, these three elements of misconduct are defined as follows. Fabrication is making up data or results. Falsification is manipulating research materials, equipment, or processes, or changing or omitting data or results such that the research is not accurately represented in the research record. And the third one is plagiarism. That is the appropriation of another person's ideas, processes, results, or words without giving appropriate credit. The first two that are fabrication and falsification, they are not easily identifiable because anyone can fabricate and anyone can falsify. And it cannot be easily detected. Only those persons who are expert in those field can only identify or at least sense that there is something fishy. Otherwise, the entire thing, as in the case of this human cloning, many of them just just think that it's accurate. These experiments are accurate. And fabrication and falsification are not easily identifiable by any kind of equipment or software, etc. Because this can be done, this can be identified only by human intellect. Okay, in some cases like image manipulation and all, we can use some kind of software and image algorithms for finding the misconducts. But in the case of other modes like other modes in fabrication and falsification, it's not easy to find. But compared to that, plagiarism is identifiable through software, and it's comparatively easy to identify plagiarism. Fabrication and falsification usually happen when one is doing research, or one is doing experiments, or one is filling questionnaires. But plagiarism is happening when one is writing, or when one is reporting the results of an experiment or of a study. So it's evident, and plagiarism is that's why plagiarism is the most exposed scientific misconduct among the scientific community, and it can happen in any discipline. So I have taken this from the Code of Federal Regulations, and this Federal Regulations of USA has first defined the concept of scientific misconduct in this way. Now, I'm going to explain a little bit more about plagiarism. There are numerous definitions for plagiarism, and this is one of them. Plagiarism is the act of taking someone else's ideas, words, research, or other intellectual or artistic work and presenting them as if they were your own. So it's quite clear, and I am sure most of you are aware what is plagiarism. This is another definition: using another person's words or ideas without giving credit, either by accident or with intent. This definition is also quite clear, because there may sometimes the plagiarism happens because of ignorance, and that's why it happened through accident. And some people do it deliberately, and that's when it happened intently. And I'm discussing about a few types of plagiarism. I'm not going to the entire gamut of types of plagiarism. We'll discuss a few areas only that are very common. The first thing is direct plagiarism or a clone plagiarism. We have discussed about the clone, and we know what is a clone. It is a word-to-word copying of someone's work without acknowledgement. That's it, simple. And even if you have acknowledged somebody's work, if you are quoting or if you are copying the words verbatim, that's again plagiarism. So this is an example for direct plagiarism: the sentences which are underlined on the left hand side, and the sentences which are in bold on the right hand side. You can see that innumerable creatures persistent. It's quite clear. Next thing is self-plagiarism or text recycling. This is a concept of using or reusing one's own work which is previously published without citing the original text. And UGC has brought out a circular, and it says that reproduction in part or whole of one's own previously published work without adequate citation and proper acknowledgement, and claiming the most recent work as new and original for any academic advantage amounts to text recycling, and also known as self-plagiarism, and that is not acceptable. Okay. And text recycling, UGC says what are the types of text recycling. Text recycling, the modes of text recycling are republishing the same paper already published elsewhere without due and full citation, publishing smaller expert work from a longer and previous without due and full citations in order to show a larger number of publications. Reusing data already used in a published work or communicated for publication in another work without due and full citation. breaking up a longer or larger study into smaller sections and publishing them as altogether new work without due and full citation. This breaking up a longer study or larger study into smaller sections is also known as salami slicing. I think most of you know what is a salami. Salami is a piece of pork or any kind of meat, usually made into piece of a large chunk, and that's when it is sliced, it will give thin slices, and that's used for cooking. And in the same way, when one is decomposing one study into different or smaller pieces, that's known as salami slicing. Then paraphrasing one's own previously published work without due and full citation. See, even if you are paraphrasing your own work without citation, that is again self-plagiarism. Self-citations do not add any number to the individual citation index or H index in global academia. Please remember that also, because in NAC or in NERF ranking, you can see that in most cases, the citations are counted when it comes to citations are counted without self-citations. Another one is mosaic plagiarism. Hope you can see the slides. And this is also known as patch writing. Okay. Mosaic plagiarism occurs when a student borrows phrases from a source. Please don't misunderstand that when a student, a researcher, it can be a student or researcher or anyone who writes, when somebody borrows phrases from a source without using quotation marks or finds synonyms for the author's language while keeping to the same general structure and meaning of the original. Sometimes called patch writing, this kind of paraphrasing, whether intentional or not, is academically dishonest and punishable, even if you footnote your source. And this is an example for patch writing. That means you can see that from different places one has copied. Then another one is accidental plagiarism. If one is not careful enough, plagiarism can happen unintentionally. It can happen mainly in three ways: accidentally failing to cite your sources correctly, not citing paraphrased information, incorrectly paraphrasing. Excuse me. Thank you. And there are many other forms of plagiarism. These are taken from Lipgate's, just like find, replace, remix, recycle, hybrid, mashup, 404 error. That means this is one of the most important types of plagiarism. That means include citation to non-existent or inaccurate information to substantiate your theories. Then aggregate or retweet, etc. So these are just technical terms, and these are more or less a mixture of concepts which I have already discussed here.
Sir, excuse me.
Yes, sir.
There is a request from the participants to just go back to the previous slide.
This one?
No, just previous to that.
This one.
Previous. Nisha, hope this is the one.
Is there anything to explain, or should I move on?
You may, sir, you may go.
Okay. And the University Commission, Grants Commission, that is UGC, has brought out a regulation for against plagiarism, or to demotivate those who do plagiarism. That's known as Promotion of Academic Integrity and Prevention of Plagiarism in Higher Education Institutions Regulations 2018. And as it says in its preamble itself, this regulation is applicable to the students, faculty, researchers, and staff of all HEAs in India. And there are, in these regulations, you can see a lot of penalties discussed for plagiarism, according to the levels of plagiarism. See, plagiarism is all kinds of, you have to distinguish between similarity and plagiarism, okay? You can be similar in writing with any other text. That's known as usually similarity. And if this similarity crosses a particular threshold, that is known as plagiarism. That means, I'll just give you, I'll just show the order of MG University that I will explain this concept. So UGC has defined a level 0 is as similarities up to 10%. That means if your text is similar to another text up to 10%, that is level 0. Okay, there is no penalty there. But if your text is similar to other text from other sources, from 10% to 40%, such student or researcher shall be asked to submit a revised script within a stipulated time period not exceeding 6 months. And similarities above 40% and up to 60% is known as level 2 plagiarism. And such students shall be debarred from submitting a revised script for a period of 1 year. And all those similarities which are above 60% is termed as level 3 plagiarism by UGC, and such student registration for the program shall be cancelled. And they have given a lot of penalties for this kind of plagiarism. It can be read in these regulations. I'm not going to read all of them. So we'll just see few guidelines to avoid plagiarism. The first and foremost thing to avoid plagiarism is to understand clearly what is plagiarism and what is not. The second thing is quote and cite the source. Third, paraphrase and cite the source. Four, summarize and cite the source. In any case, if you're quoting or if you're taking someone else's ideas, you have to, it's obligatory to cite that source. So these are ways of representing others' ideas: quoting, paraphrasing, or summarizing. Summarizing and paraphrasing is actually more or less same. Now, what is paraphrasing? Paraphrasing is presenting ideas and information in your own words and acknowledging where they come from. Okay, quite simple. You have to just present the ideas in your own words and just give the citation of the source. Summarize means when you have taken a when the source is a bigger one and you are taking you're indicating only a part of it or only a gist of that one. A summary is shortened version of a larger reading. In your summary, you state the main idea in your own words, but specific examples and details are left out. When we use summary, when a passage from a source is too long and to quote or paraphrase, and the second case is that when only the main ideas of a source are relevant to your paper. And third case is that when the details in a text might distract, overwhelm, or confuse readers. In that case also, you can summarize. And citing the source is that to cite a source means to give credit for the original source of information, an idea, or way of articulating an idea. And it is a standardized method of acknowledging resources used in your research. And usually this citing means citing. For citing, there are various ways. Usual ways of citations or MLA are discussed in MLA manual, APA, CSEs, Council for Scientific Editors, Chicago, etc., etc. And let's see the tools for detecting plagiarism. The tools means the software, that's all. And the tools for detecting plagiarism are some of the tools, not all the tools. This is not an exhaustive list. Some of the prominent software packages which are available for detecting plagiarism. Actually, they are not detecting plagiarism, they are detecting similarity. Okay. And these software, the names of such softwares are Copyscape, Grammarly, Helioblast, Authenticate, Original, Black Tracker, Turnitin, and Unicheck. Authenticate and Turnitin are of the same firm, and mostly they are used by the prominent publishers. Now let's see more particular about Turnitin, a little bit about Turnitin. Okay, so about Turnitin. This Turnitin is one of the most prominent or one of the first software to identify similarity, text similarity. And this was founded in 1998 by 4 University of California, Berkeley students as a peer review application. And this is brought out by a company known as iParadigms. And this is based in Oakland, California. And they started plagiarism.org, and you can, that's a very good resource for plagiarism, and you can find many good material for understanding what is plagiarism. In the Turnitin.com, that is the plagiarism prevention service, was launched in 2000. The same company, that means iParadigms, also has developed another software, that is Authenticate. And Authenticate is used by mostly commercial publishers. Now, in India, Turnitin is marketed by Turnitin South Asia, and that is headquartered in Noida. Turnitin actually comes out as various products or in various segments. Sometimes it's bundled with the Turnitin Feedback Studio, shortly known as TFS. And this Feedback Studio is used for checking similarity. And the second thing is giving meaningful feedback. And third is standardized grading practices. Actually, this Turnitin Feedback Studio is used by many of the institutions, especially educational institutions, for grading the assignments of their students. That means whether their students have copied the assignment or not, and then for giving feedback, and after that they will give grades according to this evaluation. The Turnitin Feedback Studio integrate with the learning management systems like single sign-on partners and collaboration tools. I think now most of the teachers are aware about the learning management systems, especially Moodle is most popular in India and Kerala. Blackboard is one such service that's most popular in US. Then other services are Brightspace, Canvas, Schoology. Then it's also a bundle with, it can be also integrated with Microsoft Teams. Canvas is used by many of the IITs and IIMs and NITs in India. I don't know what's the reason why they are using that much, but it's somewhat popular in India, Canvas. And I'll try to demonstrate the checking of a document in the by the end of the presentation. Anyway, I'll just show a screenshot of a typical Turnitin result. I've tried to check the similarity of the content by this particular software, and I have taken a piece of Wikipedia article, and as you can see, this Wikipedia article about plagiarism is dictated by Turnitin, and see that those things which are entered in the inverted commas or in quotes, they are not counted for plagiarism. See here also academic dishonesty. Although I have, and not every software package is foolproof. See, even though I have taken 100% of this article from internet, Turnitin was able to identify only 93% of it. So it's clear that none of the packages are foolproof or highly efficient to detect the entire content available over the internet. And mind you, there is another thing also. If you are taking something from print only media, that also will not be included in the plagiarism check. Now let's see something about original. Original was previously, till recently, known as Urkund, and most of the Indian universities and all the universities in Kerala are using Urkund now. I think Kerala University uses Turnitin for their similarity check purposes, but most of the other universities are using Original. Original means it's a portmanteau. The company says that our plus original, that is original. And Urkund has merged with another plagiarism checking service company known as PlagueScan, and they together formed the company Original. So the capabilities of the other software, that is PlagueScan and Urkund, both have been merged, and now the software is a little bit enhanced than its previous version as Urkund. Let me tell a small history about the Urkund. Urkund word meaning is actually document, and that's actually a Swedish word. And its synonyms are record, act, charter, etc. This software was developed by Prio Info Center in Stockholm, and this is provided in India through eGalactic, a company in Pune. And this was the website of PlagueScan, which I was saying earlier. And in the website, it is clearly say that PlagueScan is now original. Urkund, the UGC has started a scheme known as PDS, that is Plagiarism Detection Software, through its Shod Shuddhi program. And that's its tagline is enhancing research quality. And that is implemented through Information and Library Network Center, InfliNet of Ministry of Human Resource Development. Now Ministry of Human Resource Development is now renamed as Ministry of Education. And this is a website of InfliNet regarding Shod Shuddhi. And this particular initiative provides access to web-based plagiarism detection software that is original to all universities and institutions. Actually, they are giving that to only to universities now, not to individual colleges or institutions. Okay, they are giving it to Institute of National Importance as well as universities and deemed universities. And they have given the number of universities which are availing this service, that is 1,048. This is the latest number, and these are the number of users and the total documents submitted till now, etc., are displayed in the screen. How Urkun works, actually, the same procedure as of any other software, like submission, relevant sources are retrieved, then the machine learning powered analysis, report creation, and delivery. These are done through these are done by the software. And the sources, what are the sources with which our text is matched with? The text in the submitted material is matched with the sources available over the internet and many other published material and the already submitted student material. So these are the sources which are which the contents are matched with, and then the similarities are brought out. So I'll show you two documents which are checked for similarity using this two software packages. For checking purposes, what I have done is I have compiled a document just like this. Hope you can see the Word document on the screen. This is these are passages taken from different parts of internet on plagiarism. Okay, this is the Wikipedia part, and I have taken a web page part. I've taken some contents from some scholarly papers on plagiarism and combined it to just a piece of paper. And I have put, or I have checked for plagiarism in both the softwares. I'll show the results for that. I was trying to do the plagiarism check online, but the system is getting hanged because the Turnitin uses a lot of memory while checking plagiarism, and while using Zoom, it's not so easy to do it live. Okay, and a typical report of Turnitin looks like this. This I have done today morning, okay, July 2, 2021. And the name of the document was for checking documents. And there are 3,504 words and this many characters in this particular document. And the overall similarity, please note that it's similarity, not plagiarism, okay? Or overall similarity is 93%. And as UGC's document says that if it is below 10% similarity, then we could have ignored it. But this is 93%. So there is a serious matter of concern. Okay, assuming that this is a serious document or a document or a scholarly document. So these are the sources from which I have taken the contents from, and that is shown by the Turnitin. And you can see that, see, this is 2. 2 is number, Wikipedia is marked as the source 2 here. And you can see the same number 2 here also. And it is in the same color. I don't know how it looks in your screen. It's a variant of blue. And it shows that this is taken from Wikipedia. And as I said that, please note that the quotes are excluded. Usually Turnitin will exclude this automatically, but even you can override this if you uncheck that option. Okay, and so up to this, it was taken from Wikipedia. And this is 3. This is taken from source 3. And see, it is marked here. It's taken from Ohio State University website. And it's clearly marked here. So this is how the report of a software package, the report of Turnitin is interpreted. And this is from the first source. Okay, from here it is from the first source. See, and the first source is, it's a free patentsonline.com. So this is how Turnitin displays its results. Okay, now I'll show the display, the report of original. See, I think now you can see the screen of original report. The document information is given here. The document analyzed was, the very same document was deposited into original software also. And it was submitted today morning. Okay, it is 2nd July, submitted by me. And please note that the difference in the similarity. See, Turnitin has showed 93% similarity, but originally is showing only 81% similarity. That means software packages differ significantly in finding the sources. What means the software packages are different abilities. All software packages are not same in finding the similarity of the contents. And here also the very same 4 documents are displayed, Wikipedia, but the sources are different. See, here it was Ohio University website was there, patent website was there, but those things are not there. That's because that same text might have been replicated somewhere else on the internet. So this even though very same document was put into the 2 different software, the sources which they found are different. And this is how a typical original document look like. And this is the first part of the document, and I'll show the second part of the document. See from, okay, this is the second part of document. From here, it shows like this: hit and source focused comparison side by side. This is a place which is easy for one to compare the submitted text and matching text available online. So these are our words, and it matches 100%. Plagiarism is a representation of another, and it's from Wikipedia, and anyone can make out this. You can see the right-hand side and left-hand side of the document are same. See, this is also 100% matching. And here onwards, they have identified the contents from another site, that is new wikis dot etc. And it goes on like this. And usually these plagiarism checking softwares are available only to research guides or the librarians in universities or in accredited educational institutions. Usually researchers are not able to check plagiarism in this software packages directly. Now let's come back to a presentation which again shows about something about the academic integrity, because that's the first part of UGC regulations regarding plagiarism. I'll just share the slide. Hope you can see the slide with the title. Yes. Can we resolve the questions of after this this particular slide? Means this particular show?
Okay, sir, no problem.
Okay. Have you heard about moral turpitude?
Okay, sir, no.
Anyone? Anyone? Moral turpitude? Okay. It's an act or behavior that gravely violates the sentiment or accepted standard of the community, accepted and customary rule of right and duty between woman and actually that is a woman and man, and I have included that woman and woman also. That's it. It's simply something like this. For example, suppose that what if a policeman breaks the law? What if a teacher copies somebody else? That means we expect something, or we have some expectations from those people that policeman will keep the law and teacher will not copy. But if they violate that, there is an issue of moral turpitude. That's it. So as teachers or as researchers, or at least persons who are having higher academic qualifications, we are supposed to, all those who are attending this meeting at least are supposed to maintain their morals. And usually in academic circles, they call it as academic integrity. And this term was coined by Donald L. McCabe. And he was a professor at Rutgers Business School in Rutgers University in New York. And he is known as a founding father of research on academic integrity. He just passed away on September 17, 2016. And his research regarding academic integrity, or his studies regarding academic integrity, started from Princeton University's Honor Code. He has studied in Princeton University, and Princeton University is one of the top universities in the world, and it is one of the topmost private university in the world. Now, what is Academic Honor Code? Most American universities and a few outside US, and some universities like Tata Institute of Social Sciences in India, they have Academic Honor Code. That means academic integrity is being taught in ethics classes and being noted in syllabi. Many universities have sections on their websites devoted to academic integrity, which define what the term means to their specific institution. So you can see the website of owner committee on the Princeton University website here. And this owner committee is not composed of teachers. This owner committee is actually composed of students only. And students are committing, or students are taking oaths that they will not commit any kind of unethical practices, that they will not copy, they will not do any kind of unethical practices during their studies. And these committees are maintained, and they, as well as the office bearers of these committees are students only. Teachers have actually no role in maintaining honor committees. But, and they have got honor codes as well. This is the honor code of Harvard University. This is of Stanford. And Turnitin Institute of Social Sciences has got an honor code. This is like a form that I am signing an agreement with the institute saying that I'll not see. You can see the first sentence, that I'll not give or receive aid in examination, class assignments, in preparation of reports, projects. That means whatever we are commonly doing are not supposed to do. And I'll do my share and take an active part in seeing to it, and that, etc., etc. I realize that some examples of misconduct which are regarded as being in violation of the honor code include copying from another's examination paper, unpermitted collaboration, plagiarism, revising and resubmitting a marked quiz or examination paper, etc., etc. Okay, so I think you have got an idea of what is an honor code is. And this is a honor code of IIT Bombay. Actually, it's a department academic honor code. That means I am showing the honor codes at different levels. This is of a department, this is of an institute, that is of an university. And in India, I don't know how many of you have undergone SWAYAM courses. SWAYAM has prepared, or they have put a honor code on their website. If you are enrolling for a course, or if you are sometimes if you're registering for a on SWAYAM, all students participating in the courses must agree to abide the code of conduct or this honor code. That my answers to homework, assignments, quizzes, and exams will be my own work. That means that we will not copy. I will not make solutions to homework, quizzes, or exams to anyone else, etc., etc. So this is known as honor code. And for teachers, for university teachers, UGC has brought out a code of professional ethics in 1989 itself, and that was a result of a task force on code of professional ethics for university and college teachers. And right now, this code of professional ethics are included with the UGC regulations, what we are seeing. UGC regulation 2010, UGC regulations 2018, etc. In that, there is a clause that teachers should discourage and not indulge in plagiarism and other non-ethical behavior in teaching and research. And that's the only part which I want to focus on in this particular presentation, because that's the thing which is a core of this particular presentation. And there are many whistleblowers which works against the fabrication, which works against this scientific misconduct, like Committee on Publication Ethics (COPE), which was started in 1997, European Code of Conduct for Research Integrity 2011, etc. And in India, we have got two associations like Indian Academy of Sciences and Indian National Science Academy. They have got policy statements or documents which says about the ethical guidelines in scientific publishing. And there is one more topic I would like to cover, and right after that, we'll go to the questions. Now, what is the after effect of the academic mistakes or academic misconducts? See, this particular guy, His name is Paul Schmidt, and he was the president of Hungary. And he resigned following that revocation of his doctorate due to plagiarism. What he has done is he has translated a thesis in Bulgarian language, and he claimed to be his own. And that means he has translated a work in Bulgarian to Hungarian, and he submitted to his university. And he had to resign because of this grave mistake. This is Karl Gutenberg. He was the Minister for Economics and Technology in Germany, and he resigned following the revocation of his doctorate due to plagiarism. And I think he was one of the first resignation following this kind of academic mistake. Ian Mong, he was the Minister of Education of Romania, and he was in that position only for 8 days. Researchers from Japan, Israel, and Taiwan accused him of copying their mistakes, even their mistakes. That means he has copied even the mistakes of other researchers and copied it and submitted his thesis. And because of that, he had to resign his ministership. Just see, he is the Minister of Education, okay? And another Minister of Education of Research of Germany, again, please note that Minister of Education. She had to resign following the revocation of her doctorate due to plagiarism. She has submitted her thesis in 1980, okay? At that time, there was no internet and no electronic digital devices, etc. But even after 30 years, it came back after her, and it has bitten her in a bad form. And you have seen the story of Hwang Woo-Suk. And this is R.A. Mishelkar. He was the former Director General of CSIR. And he, I think most of you have undergone session about IPR. He was a chairperson of a committee which was about to draft a report on IPR, intellectual property rights. In that report, see, it is significant that you are writing a report on IPR, and in that report on patentability of drugs, a verbatim reproduction from a paper published by IPI of Oxford University was occurred, and that caused a lot of shame for Indian scientific community. This is Balwant Singh Rajput, who was a Vice Chancellor of Humayun University. Actually, he has not done nothing wrong, but his student has done a wrong. So his student, what his student was done was, he resigned from his student has copied, and he has to resign from Vice Chancellorship immediately after the inquiry report. And this is Devak Pentar, who was the Vice Chancellor at University of Delhi. He was even arrested, and because his student copied, that's all. He did not do anything. So these are the kind of problems which are happening right now. See, it's not necessary that you have to commit plagiarism. Even if your students commit plagiarism, you will be out of your office. That's for sure. And we have, you can see, I have a final question for you that, okay, hope you can see the slide. Citing a source which you have never seen, is it right or wrong? Can somebody unmute and say that? That means whether you can cite a source which you have never seen. Somebody said something I did not hear.
It is wrong.
Okay, in shortage of time, I will move further. Actually, you can cite a source which you have never seen. That's not a problem.
Audio setting shift tab mute currently unmuted alt plus A.
When it is a seminal work, and when you are sure about it, you can cite a source which you have never seen. And referencing systems like
Alert.
like
Arvind SX has joined the meeting.
APA
Alert.
and
Arvind SX.
MLA, etc., allow to do it by specifying the matter. That claiming anything to be true when you are not too sure is unethical in the strict sense. Okay, that's what is my viewpoint.
Tab, shift tab, mute. Enter, mute, currently unmuted. Alt.
Hope I'm audible, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. How can you cite a source which you have never seen? This is known as indirect citation or indirect quote in MLA in languages, and this is how you quote a indirect citation. That means in the beginning of Sense and Sensibility, Austin introduces us to Dashwoods by saying the family of Dashwood had long been settled in Sussex. Their estate was large. See, and this is how it is quoted in Segal 252. That means we have not seen this particular passage, but we have seen it in Segal, means an article by Segal, and it is in the page number 252, and that's why we have quoted here. And in APA, this kind of citation is known as secondary sources, and here it is according to Freud, as cited in Skinner 1923, the characteristics. See, we have not seen the original article of Freud. We have seen it in the article by Skinner, which was written in 1923, and we are writing it as clearly as cited in Skinner 1923. In a way, this is a disclaimer also. But this should be used sparingly, only when the source is out of print or the source is unavailable through the usual sources, and when the source is not available in English or in the language which you can understand. And there is a risk of retraction if you cite a source which you have never seen. I don't know how many of you have heard about the word retraction in the scientific publication context. Retraction is actually a statement published in a journal stating that a peer-reviewed article previously published in a journal should be considered invalid as a source of knowledge. Okay, that means sometimes the retraction is done by the authors themselves. Sometimes it is done by others like institution, investigating committees or deans or the journal itself or the legal counsels of somebody else. See, this is an article which was published in Nature in 2013, and this was retracted in 2019. Okay. Why I'm showing this, Nature is a much respected journal, then also they are also forced to retract articles. And here the authors themselves are retracting the article. The authors are retracting this article to correct the scientific literature owing to the issues with the figure presentation and underlying data. The authors cannot confirm the results in the affected figures and thus wish to retract the article in its entirety. Both authors agree with the retraction. Okay, and I'll show some other kinds of retraction also. See, here this article was published in 2011 and this was retracted in 2018. But in this case, see, this is the retraction node. And this, in this, authors Michael and etc. agree with the retraction, and authors Lakshmi Raj etc. they did not, they disagree with the retraction. Okay, and one of the author did not respond at all. This is another retraction. See, here it is written retracted article, and this was published in 2018 and it was retracted in 2019. Here, despite the revised uncertainties, our method remains valid. That is, this is the retraction statement by the authors. They are saying that their method remains valid and provides an estimate of ocean farming that is independent of the etc. And they are saying that the revised paper with the corrected uncertainties will be submitted to another journal. Okay, and the retraction will contain a link to the new publication if and when it is published. So why people are retracting papers. There are many reasons. That is honest error, just like we have seen now, and misconduct, and clear means they will not say why they are retracting. Then these are the other causes of retraction. So I'm not going into detail of this retraction because there is a shortage of time. And why I am saying about retraction means if you are committing plagiarism, or if you are committing any kinds of scientific misconduct, any of these uh, mentioned here, like plagiarism, compromised peer review, unreliable data, falsified data, etc., no ethical approval, no consent, then we will be forced to retract. And that means publication is not end of the scientific experiments or the scientific studies. Even after publication of your results, even after the publication of your studies, there is still scope for this kind of risks, and this will certainly harm our career. And many of the teachers, many of the researchers, you often usually call me and ask, can we take back our article which has been published? In strict sense, none of the journals allow taking back or retracting articles as such. That means we cannot remove them. Only thing is that they will give a statement that this has been retracted and the article remains in the same page or same web page. So why is this so? Because Committee on Publication Ethics say that retracted articles should not be removed from printed copies of the journal nor from the electronic archives, but their retracted status should be indicated as clearly as possible. And usually they are preserved as minutes of science. That means even if there's something wrong has happened also, they will be shown as minutes of science. And this, if we had done it because of our mistake, that means not because of honest error. If we have done it because of misconduct, then this will seriously affect one's reputation and that of the institution. And this is the number of retractions, and these are the causes. And you can see the retractions are caused mainly by fraud. See, this one, which one is shown in the orange color, is only because of fraud. And retractions the fraud can be accounted for the 60% of retractions. And the famous of others who have been retracted more is known as Joachim Bolt, and he has got 90 retractions for his credit. And retractions invite debarring, arrest, stripping of posts, etc. And even if your retraction, you have published an article, there is a chance of retraction even after years. So median time of retraction is almost a year, and minimum is 11 days, and maximum is 11.3 years. So we should not go do any kind of fraud in publishing. And that's it. And I'm finishing the presentation here. You can ask any kind of questions.
So thank you, sir, for enlightening us with an in-depth knowledge about the most exposed misconduct among the scientific community, that is the plagiarism. Hope the participants has got an overview about the introduction of the term plagiarism and the different types of plagiarism software, and how the softwares identify this plagiarism in an article, and of course the consequences faced by the academic community due to academic dishonesty. Now the session is open for discussion. You can post your questions in the chat box, or you can unmute yourselves and ask questions to the resource person. It seems that Dr. Vineet KM has posted a couple of questions in the chat box. Dr. Vineet, can you just unmute yourself and ask the question?
Yes. Thank you. Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, my question was, suppose an article is retracted from the database, how can we ensure that the status of a particular article?
Mostly that will be indicated by a retracted article, or there will be a in case of it, if it is a PDF file, there will be a watermark on it showing that is retracted. Or if it is a HTML page, as I have shown, there will be an indication like it is retracted or retracted article. Otherwise, there will be a statement that there will be a statement known as retraction notice.
Okay.
So these are the ways. And there is another way that is a little bit technical. I don't know how many of you have seen Crossref. If the article has got a Crossref, if you click on that, you can see the latest version of that article. And if that article is retracted, then you can see from that link.
Okay. So one more question, for the purpose of students or postgraduate students. So is there any what you say plagiarism checkers which can be used for this by the students by themselves for free, and of course which is not added to the any databases?
That's a problem actually. We don't have any such reliable free softwares for checking plagiarism. And as you said, if there is no guarantee that if you enter some text into a particular free software, they will not add to their database. That's the main problem, because if it is free, they will take something from that.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, another question from Anne Abraham. I think you have answered it already, that it just can research guides buy individual plagiarism software? If yes, can you guide us through the procedure?
The Calicut University and I think MG University, I'm not sure about that. In Kerala, Calicut University is providing this access to this software to all research guides, as I know. I don't know about other universities. And if you're trying to buy a license for your own, it is quite costly. We cannot afford that.
Yes.
Sir, MG University is also having such an option.
Okay, that's good.
Moving on to the next question by Daniel Rubaraj. What is self-plagiarism and how can we avoid it?
I'll just show the slide by, I'll just show the explanation by the UGC itself, okay? See, I think you can see the file. See,
yes.
This is a file by UGC issued on self-plagiarism, and it was brought out on 2020, April. And here here is what they defines, how they defines this self-plagiarism. They have used the word text recycling also. Reproduction in part or whole on one's own previously published work without adequate citation and proper acknowledgement, and claiming that most recent work, that means whichever work we are doing by latest, as new and original for any academic advantage. That means for any kind of advantages like career CAS or PhD, etc. That will amounts to text recycling, and that is known as self-plagiarism. And they are clearly saying that that is not acceptable. And they are saying that these are the how self-plagiarism can be done. republishing the same paper, publishing smaller expert works, reusing data already used in a published work, breaking up a longer or larger study, that which I said, which I termed as salami slicing, and paraphrasing one's own work without citation.
Sir, excuse me.
Yes.
Thank you for your wonderful session. It was very fruitful for us. And let me know one thing. Is there any Indian laws like IPC, CRPC, which is connected to the violation of this plagiarism related crimes?
As far as I know, I don't think there is any kind of penal codes for that, like IPC. But as I shown in the slides earlier, UGC has dictated some kind of penalties, like resubmitting the thesis, then debarring, etc., etc. And what we have to understand between about the plagiarism and the copyright issues. Copyright is somewhat again a penal thing. I mean, which is there is a law.
Here, copyright related IPC and CRPC has related to that.
Yeah, but plagiarism is more of a moral thing. And as I said, it's there is an issue of moral turpitude. That means we are not supposed to do that. That's it. Whether by mistake or by intent. And usually I used to say that there are software for checking plagiarism, but the most reliable software for checking plagiarism is actually our conscience itself. That's all. Because if you have copied, we know that whether we have copied or not.
I think I think
Hello, sir. Hello,
yes.
sir.
Yes.
Sir, can you explain the term whistleblowers once again, sir?
It's just some kind of organization. That means we know when whistles are blowing. You might have heard that policeman whistling when you are crossing the traffic, or when you have committed some kind of traffic fines, violations, etc. In the same way, when somebody is doing this kind of unethical things, there are organizations which says that, okay, there is a mistake. See, you have to rectify it. Such organizations are known as whistleblowers. And most important organization is COPE, that is Committee on Publication Ethics. And there are many others in worldwide. In India, actually, there is not a, there is not a legislative body or something like that. There are people like that. That's all. Whistleblowers are actually voluntary in a sense. They are not made by any kind of legislations. Even the COPE is a voluntary organization.
Okay.
There is a question posted by Nekha. Does retraction happen when a new batch of scientists, disapprove our research?
Does retraction happen when a new batch of scientists disapprove research? Can you explain that a little more?
Nekha, can you unmute yourself and ask the question?
No, hi. Thank you, sir. So I was thinking, like, once you have done a research and after some years, like another batch of scientists comes and they work and they come out with a new result and they disapprove our theories. So then, like, do we have to retract the whole paper or the scientific things we have done, or shall we keep it and that is an anti? Like another kind of a research? Is it like that?
No, retraction usually happens when we have committed some kind of misconduct. Okay, that too deliberately. Like when we have committed plagiarism, if somebody find out that we have fabricated our data, or we have falsified the experiments, etc., etc. In those and in some cases, see, recently a thing happened. Not recently, actually, it happens many times, but recently it was very evident. One of the authors sent a research paper to a journal, and it was sent to a peer reviewer. And what this peer reviewer has done, that he or she, they have refuted to publish this paper, so saying something. Okay, and what this guy has done is, they, along with their students, published this very same paper. Okay, and this paper was later retracted because this original author has found that he has been fooled by this peer reviewer. He has taken his paper and he published it by his own. So this kind of things happen, and in such cases, usually these retractions happen. Not only this cases, such kind of misconducts. Disapproval, or when some theory is proved to be wrong, in such cases, actually that is a science is a kind of what we say, always it is growing, and not only any science, any discipline, all disciplines are growing. At times we said, see, earlier we considered Pluto as a planet, now not, and there again some people are saying again Pluto is a planet. So it happens. So in these cases, there is not a such kind of cases of what to say, retractions are not happening. Only when you have committed some kind of deliberate misconduct, or if you are voluntarily accepting that, see, we have committed something wrong, or our machines were wrong, or our equipment was wrong at that time, or the calibration was not good, etc., etc. So at that time, we voluntarily say that, see, at that time our machine was, or our equipment was not working well. So we would like to retract our paper, and we retract it. And I have shown you some cases like that.
Okay, I think looks that we have covered almost all our questions. I could see a lot of messages thanking the resource person. Okay, thank you everyone. May I now invite Dr. Rashmi KP, Assistant Professor and Head of the Department of Economics, SSV College, Valayan Chirangara, to express words of gratitude.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, yes.
Okay, first of all, I'm just doing my PhD, still not doctor. I'm just pursuing my PhD in
Sorry.
economics.
Okay.
Okay. Let me correct that first. Okay, distinguished resource person, Sri Sanjo, librarian, St. Thomas College, Thrissur, members of the organizing committee and participants of today's session, a good day. I deem it an honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on the morning session, second day of the one-week FTP program organized by St. Xavier's College for Women, Aluva, and STRIDE, MG University. I extend my heartfelt gratitude towards Sri Sanjo on behalf of myself and the organizing committee and all us participants here. Thank you, sir. Sri Sanjo presented a brilliant session on anti-plagiarism tools available today and how we can use that also. I'm sure all the scholar participants greatly benefited from his thorough delivery of the subject. Thank you, sir. And all those photos you have shown, that just gave us some chills. And next, I thank the organizing committee for arranging such a useful session, and also I extend my thanks towards Dr. Saumi Mariam, coordinator of the program, for giving me this opportunity. Last but not the least, I extend my gratitude towards all the participants. Again, thank you one and all. Stay safe. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Rashmi. So I'm sure that we, the academic community, needs to be diligent in keeping science honest and safeguard it against academic dishonesty. This note, we shall take a break. Thanks again for joining us today. And the next session shall start at 3 p.m. So kindly join 10 minutes before the session. For the second session, we have Dr. Shafiq V, He'll be speaking on a review of funding options in research. That will be the continuation of yesterday's session, and the feedback link for today's session shall be posted after the second session. So thank you.